Hello everyone, this is the 3-card spread for June 18th. Now, for those of you who are new, this is a 3-card spread that can be used either as just guidance for the day if you have a particular issue you're looking at, or it can be used as a self-awareness exercise. There's a contemplation card, there is an intentional attitude card, and then there's an awareness activity. All right, now let's see. I've already asked for guidance. The first card that we get are boundaries or barriers. Now, the contemplation pack is not designed to tell you, oh, look at that dirt. It's not designed to tell you that this is the truth. It's suggestions and it's ideas, and what it's designed to do is just wake up anything in your mind that might be related to boundaries or barriers, and to see how it shows up in your day. So boundaries or barriers reads like this. Boundaries can be strong yet simultaneously soft, movable, and negotiable. They respond to the outside world and take it into consideration in making decisions. Barriers are rigid walls which keep others out and us in, allowing no opportunities to negotiate and respond spontaneously in the moment. When you identify an unwanted or unhelpful barrier, you can then choose to soften your edge. Keep in mind that some of the most powerful barriers, both helpful and unhelpful, can exist within your own internal dialogue. Some of the most empowering boundaries you'll ever negotiate are how you think about and talk to yourself. You can take into account the nature of the situation, person, place, or thing, and negotiate your relationship according to how you'd like to experience yourself in relation to it. That's powerful. We'll put them all together at the end. But for now, that's your contemplation card. Now, the intentional attitude card is really important. It's an important aspect of this deck, even though it's actually the smallest pack. And that is because what we're doing when we work with this pack is we are choosing to decide what our attitude is going to be so that it will affect our energy in a particular way. The pack is small because within each card there's a whole series of different qualities of energy that might come up in your mind. And that's what's going to be relevant, is how it frames for you. So the experimentation card is this. This approach leaves you free to be non-judgmental. There's no right or wrong. Be willing to alter the way you do things and try new approaches just for the purpose of collecting information. Step outside of what is most familiar and stir things up just to see. Play with the rules. Dare to throw yourself your own curveball. So what might that feel like? To me, what that feels like is it feels a little playful. It feels a little daring, and it feels as though what I'm deliberately doing is I am stepping outside of what is familiar. So that quality of energy for me, I would come up with a whole bunch of adjectives for me that associate with that bring me into that sense of discovery. Oof. Okay, and then I would use those and use that as a way to get back in touch with that. But as you notice, it's experimentation, so the energy of that card might change throughout the day. Now, the last card is the awareness activity. And this one's cool because it's designed to take you out into the world and give you something specific to focus on that is going to allow you to, or it's helping create the structure around which you can experiment and notice how the boundaries and barriers concepts come up around that. So let's see what Spirit's going to give us for the last card. Okay, all right. So I just got directed, bottom of the deck, not pulling a card. And the activity card is, but do I want to? Okay. Every time you say, I can't, your body and mind contract. Today, every time you find yourself about to say or think, I can't, instead say, yes, I can, but do I want to? And that, my goodness, that goes perfectly with boundaries or barriers. Notice the difference in your posture and breathing when you choose the second response, which is, yes, I can, but do I want to? How do your mental and emotional states change? Notice how differently you start to think about your options. I love this one. I love this one. Okay, I'm going to give you a very quick example of how it works for my life, or how I see it applying in my life. If somebody crosses a boundary for me, I have the option of being petulant about it, grumbling about it, maybe saying sarcastic things or hinting, right? But I know when I do that, because I have done that in my life, because I did not feel confident about asking for something or setting a boundary, it came out in this childish, really childish way of trying to set a boundary without actually verbalizing my needs. So what I realize is I don't want to. I don't want to be like that. I don't like that energy. I'm not comfortable. So I'm going to experiment, and I'm going to say, what's the opposite of that? Well, the opposite of that is, wait a minute. I deserve to have this particular thing addressed. It's a reasonable request, and I'm just going to ask for the boundary. I'm going to ask for the thing that sets a boundary, and let the chips fall where they may, because of course the other person can challenge it. However, what is also really relevant in all of this is what now I have identified is the difference between being in my old protective child mode, or weakened, disempowered child mode, to the adult mode, which says you can set a boundary and you can set it respectfully. You can set it with kindness towards the person you're setting the boundary, and you can be open to negotiation, right? So maybe it's not all the time, but maybe it's some of the time when there's an emergency, maybe this, maybe that. So boundaries are typically about time and space. So when you look at that and you're considering how you want to do it, allow yourself to start with what you don't like about it, and then changing that, experiment by changing it into a different way. This is where you can deliberately invoke your higher conscious self, your wise adult, and say, what would it look like this way? Oh, this is kind of cool. Now, again, that's just one simple example, and you may take this, and it may be about a specific situation. Some of you may be going into a negotiation specifically around something concrete in your life. And this may just be an opportunity to start exploring different things around boundaries and barriers and how you've handled them in your life and how they have come up around you. Because the other thing I'm hearing right now is check in where other people have created barriers for you that you have continued to try to fight against instead of handling it differently. How many times have you felt locked in because of other people's boundaries or barriers? And do you need to go negotiate it from that perspective? So there's all sorts of possibilities, and the beauty of these cards is when you sit and you let yourself just be with the information, notice what comes up for you. Notice what it feels like, or what thoughts or what memories come up, and this is how you start engaging your higher conscious mind and your intuition, and that is always a win-win. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that. Have fun, and probably see you tomorrow. Take good care. Much love.